Hi everyone, this is our demo for our 310 projects, and the topic we choose is the section insights. For how to start the application, we have write some instruction in the README file for you to go through over it. And now I'll start the presentation. So our presentation have three parts. The first part is going through the user stories and how they are demonstrated in our user interface, and the second part is going over through the integration tasks, and the last part is we are talking about the 4 endpoints we write in the server. So for our first user story is the add dataset, and the user can add the dataset by choosing the ID and the zip file, and if the dataset is added successfully, it will be shown in the view dataset part automatically without any page refresh, and if it's not successfully added, it will show some error message. And this is our user interface, and you can see the network connection here. And now I'll try to upload a dataset. So here the dataset is added successfully, and you can see the dataset ID is here, and we can also see the kind and rows of the dataset. And we can try to add a dataset with the same ID, and it will show a error message that the dataset ID already exists. And we can try to add a invalid dataset. So it was said no valid sections found. So there's no valid sections in this dataset, so we cannot add it into the section datasets. And we can add another valid dataset. Yeah, and here we can also see another valid dataset, and also its number of rows. And we can also remove the so it's our second user story is remove dataset, and so we are choose the dataset from our drop-down table and to remove it. So here I can remove the ID1 dataset, and here the dataset is successfully removed, and we can see we cannot find the ID1 dataset in the view dataset part. And our third user story is the view dataset. So I have already shown that the view dataset will be updated automatically whenever we add a dataset or remove the dataset. And also we have another functionality that we can click the reload button whenever the user restarts the website, and they can see the dataset they have added before, so that they can directly perform query on this dataset without any adding or remove action. So here I'll restart it. And I can click the reload, and we can see the dataset is here. And for the dataset, we can also perform 3 queries on it. The first one is a pie chart showing that all CPSC sections pass versus fail percentage, and the second chart is a line chart showing the average score change amount of sections from 2011 to 2016, and the last chart is a bar chart showing the count of sections with more than 150 fails for each department. So we can perform these queries. we can select the dataset ID here. Maybe add a metadataset for oh, I need to add a different ID name. Okay. And here, when I click perform query, it will show the pie chart, and also for this one is the course average change, and the last one is the count of sections with fail count. And we can choose another dataset to perform the query. So we can see that the dataset has only 2 rows, so apparently there's no result for that. Yeah, and there's no result for this one either. Okay, so this is our demonstration of all the 4 user stories, and we'll go through the second part, which is the integration test part.
Okay, for the integration test, first I'm gonna terminate. Okay, first I'm gonna run the test. For the integration test part, first I'm gonna run all the tests. And you can see that all the tests have passed. And for this integration test, I just access the URL and then observe some behaviors that the URL will kind of return. And I'll just briefly go over the server. Yeah, sorry. For the URL here, yeah, basically you have these 4 URLs, and we use put to add a new dataset with the dataset ID be the parameter, and then in the handler part we will just call the add dataset in the backend. And similarly, like for the delete, we use delete dataset, we use dataset / the ID as a parameter, and then call the remove dataset. And for the list dataset, we just use a get and get all the datasets using this path and call the list dataset function in the backend. And for the perform query part, we just use a post verb and use a query, which is a user input, and perform the query in the backend. Yeah, this is basically what each RESTful API did.